from the Post-Millennial. Breaking, FBI confirms Trump was hit with a bullet during assassination attempt after Chris Wray told Congress it could have been shrapnel. Christopher Wray had suggested that Trump could have been hit by shrapnel. And this is written by Thomas Stevenson. So I'm going to complain about Thomas to Libby right now. Libby?
Yeah.
He was hit with a bullet?
What? Shot with a bullet?
Shot. Trump was shot in the head.
Tim's been policing speech this week.
I'm policing speech.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'm half kidding, but I do think it's the reason that
I'm pretty sure that's not Tommy's headline, by the way.
Well, the reason why Wray said there's some question as to whether he was actually hit by a bullet or by shrapnel, it's because it's propaganda from Democrats and from people who hate Trump to diminish the fact that he literally got shot in the ear and nearly died. And so I'm saying counter with maximum efficiency. FBI confirms Trump was shot during assassination attempt after Chris Wray said it could have been shrapnel.
And he said it could have been glass. He said all kinds of things. And then everybody ran with it like crazy because they really wanted it to be not true that Trump was almost assassinated.
And then the FBI came out, Brett Baer, with a statement. What struck former President Trump in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragmented into smaller pieces, fired from the deceased subject's rifle. Fragmented? Why would it even be fragmented? But sure, Trump was shot.
He was shot, yes.
Yeah.
Right in his face.
I think it's such a all of our intelligence agencies are acting like such a joke right now, right? Like we know it was a bullet. We know that someone fired a gun at President Trump. He was shot in the ear, sustained a serious injury, was taken to a hospital. Like this is an established narrative to go to before Congress and be like, we don't know. Either you're terrible at your job or you're just lying.
Let's try this. We have a couple different versions of reality we can choose from. One is the Secret Service could not stop or identify an assassin, but regular people in the field screaming, he's got a gun, he's on the roof, could. So the Secret Service is less competent than random people standing about. And the head of the FBI, Wray, doesn't even know what Trump was hit by. So you can choose that reality of, wow, the government is less competent than random middle-aged individuals standing in the field, or you can choose they're intentionally lying and elements within our own government tried to kill Donald Trump.
What do you think?
Well,
I choose
actually,
B.
you think so? I was going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that there was some official capacity to the attempt on Trump's life?
I certainly do, and I would just say this. I covered a lot of Trump rallies. I know you're all with the cool kids, so you always get the VIP to the double VIP access and stuff. But
when I was going to the rallies, I was going to the press entrance, and that was about it.
Yeah, I'm saying, so I get the press, from Newsmax, and I have an NYPD media pass, too, so I get in, and I got some Staten Island ingenuity, so I usually could work my way through, to an even more cool place. Most of the ones I've been at, pretty much every one, I can't make a move past where the press area is. And if you even try to sniver over to where the good people are, you don't have the right color on you, you're out. So it's unfathomable to me what I've seen at rallies that a kid could walk in weird clothes, carrying a long rifle, somehow get on a roof. It just doesn't add up. For me.
I was in Fort Lauderdale at a Trump rally 10 years ago, and I got the dog. What did they say? Signaled or whatever. The dog started freaking out. They pulled me to the side. They took all my stuff. They had the dog sniff it all one by one. They were alerted by the dog. And I told them I do conflict and crisis reporting, so I was like, "There's probably tear gas, whatever." And they're like, "Oh, okay, you're good." How does this kid have a rangefinder? How is he handling the drone or the gun and the ammunition without the dog? Were there no dogs? I mean, they say the Secret Service skipped the briefing. They allowed the guy to fly a drone. And now FBI Wray is like, I don't even know what Trump was hit by, and it's just like, Are you doing your job?
You also had Cheadle say that rangefinders were not among the possessions that were disallowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they let them bring them in.
They're like, well, you have the Second Amendment, and rangefinders aren't illegal. So when we saw guys walking around with a rifle and a rangefinder, we were like, seems okay to us.
Bag. He was driving around on a bike with a rifle bag, right?
Yeah. Is that what it was?
That's what Jack was saying.
When you asked that question, could it have been... what about aerial coverage? They said there was no aerial coverage. Now, a good friend of mine, his dad worked for the Port Authority of New York for 40 years, handled every VIP, every president, every pope. And he said, Johnny, it's just not plausible that they don't have aerial coverage. They had NYPD, New York State Police, New Jersey State Police, Port Authority Police, all had helicopters in the air. Any time a president came to New York, they have frogmen and boats, East River, Hudson River, in the Bay. He said these days with drones, they should have had at least 3 helicopters, state police, local police, FBI, and drones. How could there be no aerial coverage?
They were letting the kid fly the drone.
That's what I mean. How could we not have one, but the shooter did?
The fact, as soon as Wray was like, I don't know what Trump was hit by, I was like, oh, he's in on it. Like, come on, are you kidding me? That's an absurd statement to make. You're the head of the FBI. The first thing you do is you collect the evidence and you're like, we know what this was. If he said Trump was hit by shrapnel, I'd be like, well, that's a bold claim to make, but at least he's got a definitive statement to make. He was like, I don't even know.
What do you think it says then that his press secretary came out and was like, yes, it was a bullet? I mean, like, it is interesting to me.
What says to me is Trump should never have hired the guy.
Yeah, but there also seems to be some, like, to me, that would indicate there's some kind of weird tension, right? That the press secretary would be like, yes, can confirm was shot, even though the head of this organization is like, we don't know. I assume he would have been like, no, you guys can't put out a statement. I mean, that's kind of what the Secret Service seemed to do.
Well, the Secret Service also had been offered drones by local law enforcement, and they turned it down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And by the way, Christopher Wray was a Chris Christie hire. Just so you know.
Oh, it was a Christie hire. He wasn't.
Christie
when he was like
Christie recommended Chris Wray to Trump when he was, before he went Fredo on us. Chris Christie, but Chris Wray came as a recommendation from.
But Trump hired the guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But he did come to him through.
Well, I mean, Trump shouldn't listen to Christie. Trump listened to a lot of bad people. I'm hoping this time around, when he wins, hoping he's going to win, that he learned his lesson.
Agreed. There were a lot of deep state people that he let into his White House. And
I think he thought he was playing fair.
Yep.
I think Trump thought early on, he was like, look, I'll get you guys some of this stuff. I'll get you what you need, and I'll do what I want to do too. And then they turned around and they were like, we can't let him do this. We're in charge. And so they betrayed him. Trump thought he was going to play fair with these guys. You can't play fair with them. This is the thing, right? They say that if you're ever approached by intelligence for any kind of job, you're in deep, deep trouble, because no matter what you do at this point, you're on their radar. It's just like the mafia. You get in deep, and or any gang. You get in deep, and then there's going to be repercussions one way or the other. They're going to go to you, and they're going to say, we got a job for you, and that job is you go down. Anyway, so Donald Trump thinks he's going to bring in some of these I don't know, deep state spies, and they're going to work with him, and they're going to smile, and they're going to shake his hand. Nah, they sold him out in 2 seconds. For their own personal benefit.
He let these guys stay. Comey, McCabe, brought in Bolton, brought in this guy. There were monumental mistakes. And like you said, he was too nice the last time he got elected. Everybody was chanting lock her up. They wanted Hillary to get arrested, and he didn't go in like a crazy victor and start throwing people in jail and just wholesale cutting people out of jobs. He tried to keep the continuity of government, and it wound up really, backfiring on him, if you ask me.
Would you be concerned that would happen again? Should he be elected? I don't like to jinx it. That's why I don't talk in like definitive. But like, if he's elected again, there would be the same kind of missteps.
I think there are people that he's allowed on stage last week at the convention that I'm not certain are, completely loyal to Donald Trump. So,
Nikki Haley.
Mike Pompeo, he wasn't always exactly perfect Trump guy. And, here he is, 50 pounds lighter, and he's got a new lease on life in Trump world. But I think he gave up on Trump a few times, if you ask me.
I think someone on this show said it, that there's a rumor that Pompeo was going around saying he was going to be the vice president.
That appears to be not true.
Not true? Well, this is before someone tried to kill the president. I think the deep state plan, and I don't know entirely what that means, deep state. I mean, like, there could be one person the math is really simple. Trump derangement syndrome is real. Some people are irrationally hateful of Trump. We know that there are people in government who hate Trump. And the question is, of all the people we've heard wishing for death on Trump after this happened, could any of them be in government? So I think even if the answer is one, there's a possibility that someone in an official capacity was aiding and abetting or facilitating whatever was going to happen to Donald Trump. I think the plan was for Trump to die and for Nikki Haley to be the nominee. They would have blamed Iran, and then we would have had war with Iran overnight.
How terrible.
Yep. And then Trump tilted his head a little bit. And whoops.
They do seem like they want to blame Iran for this. That's been
because
been
then
seeing that in the background.
If Iran killed Trump, which doesn't make any sense, they'd say we have to go to war. And then you'd get tons of Trump supporters being like, yes. Not all of them, but enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think Iran's the, deep state boogeyman. Like, they're behind supposedly everything, but at the same time, our government has gone to great lengths to help Iran, particularly Biden, particularly Obama, sending pallets of cash and,
unfreezing money.
Yeah, what was it?
Money.
16 billion, 6 million,
6 or 7 billion or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, I have a Wall Street background too, so I'll just throw some, money stuff at you. The main thing they did, you could keep their money locked up for as long as you want or unlock their money. Joe Biden's first acts in office were to shut down the Keystone Pipeline, to shut down leases on domestic oil production. And that basically was the debit card for Iran because their oil became worth so much more money. Trump had them in a box and they had sanctions on them. Removed the sanctions, cut back on U.S. domestic production. You make Iran and Russia rich. And that's basically the gift. If you ask me, that's the gift that he's given to Iran, is to cut back our domestic production.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.